Inhale. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Perhaps you're having an argument with someone and you want it to end. Place your intention now.
This looks like a regular yoga class. The women are on their mats following the instructions of a yoga teacher. Only this time it is inside the Belize Central Prison, and these women are inmates. Some have never considered practicing yoga before, and for some, it's new.
And the first time I heard about yoga, it was something like, yoga? I said, okay. Then I got to know Miss Michelle, and she started training us. I find the first one, I said, oh, it's kind of a little strange, but eventually I started getting used to it. I fell in love with it.
Rub your hands together now, manifesting the beautiful positive energy that you've created in your centering. When you feel the heat, release and cover your entire body, locking in that beautiful positive energy.
Many of these women have been in prison for over a year. A majority are here for immigration offenses. Some are directly or indirectly victims of human trafficking. Many are from poor communities in Central America, in areas where violence was a part of life. They came to Belize looking for freedom from that poverty and violence, but they never found it. Instead, they're in jail, a place that breeds the same kind of issues they're running from. And so to help them cope and improve their lives, they have turned to trauma-sensitive yoga.
Breathe in, breathe out.
Yoga has played an important part here in Kobe. Why? Because it has made me learn to appreciate something more within myself. That is not just with my reaction or my attitude towards maybe during a time of anger or vexation with someone. It trains me to get calm.
Well, from my experience, it's been 3 months since I'm here and here at the prison, and I have decided to start yoga from since I first came, and it's really nice for me. Teaches me self-control, teaches me a state of mind to be calm, and the anxiety problem that I have, it teaches me how to control it, and it's been very healthy for my body because I do not feel the same way that I've been since I've came in.
And on the exhale, bring your hands into prayer mudra, namaskar mudra, anjali mudra.
And that's why yoga instructor Michelle Williams teaches yoga in the prison. She wants to help inmates to cope better with their trauma and life in prison through yoga practice. About a decade ago, Michelle discovered yoga's healing power, and ever since, she's been on a mission to help others discover this ancient practice for personal wellness and restoration.
It took on such an important role in my life that it really allowed me to see life differently. I had a different vision for myself. And because of that, I had the intention of just really wanting to share and share through experience. I wasn't somebody that just went and did a yoga teacher training to teach. It was from experience that I did it. It changed my life, actually. It really did.
Inhale, ekam.
So a few years ago, Michelle and some of her yoga colleagues formed a Rhythm of Change, also known as ROC. It is a non-profit organization that uses the transformative and healing properties of yoga to build peace and help transform communities.
So that's what yoga does. It opens our understanding of who we are, and perhaps what triggers me, and how can I react differently when I'm triggered. So knowing thyself is the difference that yoga is making to the individual, so that they then in turn can be more positive in their interactions in society.
I was just seeing the need, and more people were asking for our services.
Like here in the Belize Central Prison, the female population is small, just around 45 or so. But like any other correctional facility, this prison is a breeding ground for violence, anger, frustration, desperation, and even mental health issues. And after these already traumatized women serve time, it may be difficult for them to be reintegrated into society. But ROC wants to change that. For more than a year, the nonprofit has been offering yoga classes here once a week.
It's trauma-sensitive yoga that we do with them. So we're very respectful of their bodies. We don't necessarily do hands-on adjustments all the time. And we always tell them what's going to come next. So there's nothing that they can't predict. They know how it's going to start and they know how it's going to end.
Which is why CEO of Belize Central Prison, Virgilio Murillo, jumped on the idea to introduce yoga to the inmates. It is a part of the prison's rehabilitation program for women only. And so far, it's working.
I think it's a very effective program, and we're seeing it. Because, like I said, the female section doesn't give me much trouble. Years ago, you would have been having quarrels and arguments and slandering and all of that over there. But recently, at least for the last 2 years, I can tell you, the incidents and the quarrels and the lockups have came down big time. No doubt about it.
And although they're locked behind walls of concrete and gates of steel, these women feel free at least 4 times a month when they roll out their mats and practice yoga. Michelle says the tools they've used help these women tremendously.
Well, we do various meditations with them. One of the meditations that we do is a yoga nidra, and part of the yoga nidra, one of the limbs of yoga nidra is actually to focus on something that makes you happy and to bring happiness into the body. The focusing tools, when they're beginning to feel angry, to focus on something, or to learn to breathe, or to take themselves to a place that is apart from the place of unhappiness or anger. And also, what they found is also that capacity to be compassionate and empathic. Any anger or fear, any anxiety or regret, consciously release it out through breath. As far as anger management tools, living a relatively peaceful life with less conflict within the confines of the prison, I know yoga has helped. There's less conflict, there's less incidents of lockdown.
And to augment the rehab of these inmates for an impact beyond prison life, a couple of them are now training to become yoga instructors.
They go through the teacher training and they learn a little bit more because we're going to go far deeper into the trauma, the different types of trauma and different tools and how the trauma manifests, and to actually go through the teacher training and graduate and become an internationally certified yoga teacher and can register. We're hoping that they'll be able to use it as an income earner and to use that instead of as an alternative in going into these areas of employment that are degrading and not very respectful of their bodies or their minds.
Inhale, elbows touching, exhale, come.
But even before teaching prisoners yoga, Michelle was already helping others who have different ailments or simply wanted a new fitness routine. She opened Shanti Yoga Studio in Belize City in 2013. Unlike Rock, it is a for-profit business that offers yoga services to clients, but the end result is the same: healing and wellness in different forms.
It's a whole different scene, a whole different environment. It's like you go into a whole different world, and it actually is more than an exercise for the body, and that's what I liked. I had gone through a surgery, and that surgery went wrong, and it became life-threatening. And after that, I was diagnosed with a form of stress disorder because apparently my mind wasn't ready to deal with what my body, the trauma it went through, right? I came to do yoga because the doctor recommended that I do that. And it actually helped because when you go through that kind of trauma, your body and your mind are not in sync. But when you do yoga, you actually get to exercise your body, but it's a way to relax your mind. And I actually reached the point of death. And when you reach that point and that realization, it puts a whole different spin on your life. And so you need to find a way to get grounded back. And medication couldn't have done it. And yoga has done that for me.
And though I started yoga at age 77, I'm now 79, with serious neck and back problems, I have never once felt intimidated. I can certainly attest to the physical and positive effects of yoga. And I'm sorry that I did not start this practice long ago.
From a stress level perspective, yoga is a practice that puts you in very close contact with your body through the various asanas or poses, and the contortions that you do in those poses. And because it puts you in close contact with your body, it brings you to greater physical awareness. It also brings you to greater self-awareness.
Today, Rock is in Lordsbank Village. As a part of its community yoga initiative, Michelle and Aloma are holding a session with children and adults. This yoga class is a part of the Days of Healing initiative. It's a grassroots movement designed to bring at-risk families together, those affected by inner city violence and crime.
1. Exhale. 2. And 3.
The Community Days of Healing was started by this man, Perry Sticks Smith. He didn't know much about yoga, but he learned enough to know that it can make a difference in what he was doing.
Yoga, that healing in itself, that every day you take time to work on yourself, center and better yourself as one individual. When you feel good and you see that others might look depressed and feel bad, that energy with the inner you want to go and extend to somebody else. So we see the need for the yoga continues to stay with the Days of Healing, because then a lot of these youths, right now they're in the village, and even in the village, just like the south side of Belize, a lot of we youths never know about yoga, never know to take one time to sit down and calm their brains. And that's why they're so hasty and quick for act. So with yoga, they help to get in one time for center and balance themselves.
It is a light and relaxed atmosphere at the community center here in the village. A come as you are kind of thing.
They're learning to sit quiet. They're learning to close their eyes and to be comfortable closing the eyes. We're talking about people that are dealing with gunshots and are having to deal with the possibility of being targeted. They're actually learning that they can, their bodies are tangible, is a tangible entity that they can touch and actually feel, and to experience some of the things that yoga does in that moment, in that hour.
So I want everybody to lie flat on the floor.
Rock brings yoga mats and the families meet up for the class. It lasts about 45 minutes, once a month in different communities. It's a physical but also mental and spiritual meeting, one that even the children enjoy.
It was never bad. I love it.
I am coming back because I need the stretching, because I am picking up weight and I got a problem with my heel.
It helped me make I get strong and healthy. You relax your mind and you close your eye when you relax, so make nobody fool with you.
Yoga allows you the time to connect with your body. So inhale.
Perry wants families to come together and to heal, to reduce the violence and the inner city gang warfare. It is a big task, especially in Belize, where crime and violence are hallmarks of the commercial city. It puts Belize as one of the most murderous countries in the world. And that violence trickles down, something Perry wants to change.
I'm a Marin portee, you understand? I came from the States, I lived a fast life. From the age of 13, I got shot up 3 times. The last time I get shot, I was about 21 years old. I get shot 2 times right in front of my mom. So I came from the same life of violence, guns, and dismay. And when I first came back to Belize in 2008, I was shocked, the crime and the violence. I was like, man, like you say, you come right back home, then I felt comfortable. And in a sense, I felt too comfortable, like, man, this is the same thing that took me away from everything that I know, my mother, grandmother, son, you understand me, brothers, sisters, my whole entire family is in the States. So I said, okay, I could be comfortable and jump right back into this, and then comfortable, I end up in a grave. Comfortable, I end up running, scared for my life for the rest of my life.
The good within me only sees the good within you. So namaste. Palms facing down or palms facing up, whichever you prefer. It's your choice. Take a nice deep breath in, and then gently close your eyes.
One of those communities affected by crime is the St. Martin de Porres. For about 2 years now, Brock works with students at the St. Martin de Porres Primary School. Many of the students have been exposed to or affected by gun violence. So through Project HEAL, a nonprofit that provides student academic and counseling support services, the children use yoga to help them cope.
It's intense. Students are coming to school every day, a lot of times having witnessed seriously violent events happen right outside the front door of their house. And it affects them. Their immediate reaction to most things that are stressful is to react violently.
Hello, Earth. Smell the grass. Hello, Cobra. Hello, Down Dog. Hello, Earth. Hello, stars. Hello, clouds. Back to center. You guys gonna say it with me now?
And I think yoga is a really good tool to teach them to rely on themselves and to use that frustration and use their breath and calm themselves. And I have seen students facing intense situations even here at school who are able to focus on their breath and calm themselves down. And I think it's an invaluable tool to students who are experiencing violence and who probably will experience it for the rest of their lives. To be able to rely on yourself and your breath is something that no one can ever take away from you.
And during the yoga sessions, mindfulness is a critical component included in the practice. Longtime practitioner Jerry Enriquez says Rock is making a difference by introducing mindfulness to these vulnerable groups.
Mindfulness is the ability to pay attention in the present moment and to be calm about whatever arises non-judgmentally. It is when people start to react to their expectations rather than calmly and peacefully looking at reality that they build anxiety, frustrations, fear, and it erupts into all of the chaos that we see in society. The practice focuses on within. Rock is a profound opportunity for the activities that we do to spread and build change in the society. It's like planting seeds of change.
And another place that Rock is making a difference is at the youth hostel. This is where children who've been abused, abandoned, or troubled are placed.
They were here, but they were not at that stage of contentment. They didn't have any inner peace. It was like a turmoil within them, and there were many clashes. And so we felt that we needed a program that would reach in and help them to tap deep within them so that they can derive some peace, some calmness over their whole body from a holistic point of view. It was like putting everything in alignment, because what we found happening was the emotion clashing against the body and the spirit and the whole demeanor.
There were some that came from a very aggressive place, so their practice was very aggressive, and then I also realized where that came from, and for me it was a matter of patience. It was a matter of understanding and compassion. They respect their bodies more. When you connect to your body in the way that yoga allows, with consistent practice and with breath, when you take a breath and you can actually feel the breath going through the body and experience either the relaxing aspects or the energizing aspects, there's this wonderful thing that happens that you want to protect it.
And it is an opportunity that the young girls have welcomed, and as they explain, yoga has made a mark in their lives.
I kind of feel angry and everything, but then when I come to yoga, I just feel relaxing. Then every time I just go to the yoga and start thinking about that.
Before I did yoga, I had an anger issue, and like, you know, I didn't know how to calm myself, control my anger and stuff like that. But since I did yoga and stuff like that and learned how to meditate, I could just sit down or go in my dorm, lay in my bed, and just like, you know, concentrate on the stuff that they taught us in yoga, and it really helped a lot. Like, I noticed that I'm happier. I could do stuff without getting easily angry, you know, and stuff like that.
Women does like quarrel and thing, and women does like fight up with each other. But since Miss Michelle and the other team come, we calm down and we get to work along with others.
I didn't know how to deal with people. But I know now, like, if I go home or home leave and stuff like that, and I get a problem, like, with my aunt or a friend or, you know, somebody, I'll know how to control it.
Sometimes we might be by ourselves and we think different. Negative thoughts will just come, and sometimes we want to harm our own selves, you know, like in different ways. Instead of thinking of harming ourselves, we either could, you know, use the methods that Ms. Michelle and Ms. Ingrid and Ms. Jote have teach us, you know, to calm ourselves and don't hurt ourselves. And it's also gonna help me when I come out from here too, because, you know, when I go out in the world now, it's be a not different environment from being here in the hostel. So that now that when I go in the real world now, I will be able to, you know, I've used the things that they have taught me, and maybe I could teach others too.
But the girls are not the only believers of this program. The coordinator and counselor saw the difference and are champions of yoga for vulnerable groups like the youth hostel clients.
I have seen tremendous changes in these young people. I mean, we've seen a more calm effect over them. They're more quieter. They don't usually, there's not a lot of lashing out and a lot of screaming. They've learned now to control. And one of the main things that I see happening is what was before was the emotions was controlling the body, actually the physical body, the movement. And so they would be kicking and screaming and things like that. But now we've seen it taking another thing where there's a separation now of that. And they're now able to think and rationalize. They're more focused even inside the classroom.
And with them being a lot calmer, we're able to communicate with them more. We're able to help show them different skills and techniques to help them through their problems. And I've been seeing that. I've been seeing it where, you know, out of class and in their dorms, they're doing it on their own. I am noticing that the clients are thinking more. And for me, that was mind-blowing when I saw that, you know, with some of my clients, that, you know, yoga was making an impact.
And the work of Rock even got the attention of a yoga instructor in the US. Gabby Garrett is in Belize for a few days to teach some basic yoga and to learn more about the practice in Belize.
I've always known the impact of yoga was great, but I've never seen, because the people who come to my classes don't speak so openly, you don't know exactly what the root cause of what brought them to it was. So in these populations, you know exactly, not exactly, but in generalistic, like you're incarcerated. But what I found was so great is that everybody's so excited for yoga. Like the children said that they wait out the window for Michelle and everybody who's a part of Rock to get there. So they're like, yoga, yoga, yoga.
Inhale, come up all the way up, gaze towards the thumb. Exhale, Samasthiti.
And now Rhythm of Change wants to share yoga with the rest of Belize, even beyond our borders.
Our vision is to really spread it nationwide, to have yoga implemented in the schools, and for the children to develop the tools, especially in the at-risk areas, the areas where they're always experiencing violence and they're always on that reactive, their nervous system is always on edge. For them to develop the tools to really take that pause, to become less reactive, and to perhaps avoid getting into maybe trouble with the law, and to also learn to concentrate and do good in school. You know, to find that self-confidence in themselves, and the more they use the tools, the more they see that they work.
I believe that the work of Rhythm of Change can actually be a beacon for the region. And so I would like to see collaboration with regional partners in Central America and the Caribbean, because we all have the similar issue of, being top on the homicidal rate, and, we have issues, similar social issues. And so with a program or an organization such as Rhythm of Change that has these programs to assist and to curb behavior and to improve lives, then we should all benefit from it.